Hello the internet and welcome back to the live stream. It is Saturday the 20th of June 2020 and today I will be live for 108 minutes. Am I going to say yes, 108 minutes? I seem to say that every time we do a live stream on YouTube. I repeat the hour, the minute that we're going for on the stream. The reason I say that and the reason I repeat it is because I don't feel confident that it will last 108 minutes. What exactly is 108 minutes? 1 hour and 48 minutes, correct? 1 hour and 48. Now, today's stream is going to be a little bit tense, right? Given the climate around the world right now, things that are popping off. You see the title of the stream. What do you think, or what's the title of the stream? How do you rate? What's your take on the USA police? That's the title of the stream. Now, we are going to be watching some pretty heavy content. This one may be one where you might have some differing opinions. It's going to be very polarizing. The point of it is that we need to engage this conversation, right? The conversation is critical here. You can believe one thing, you can believe another thing, but we have to be able to engage a decent conversation, specifically in regards to the police situation in the USA. We're seeing lots of different calls for police reform, changing of the whole concept of how states are maintained, order, riot police, whatever. Everything seems like it's changing. So we need to be able to talk about that. We are allowed to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. That's the content of the stream today. But we are going to slide our way into it nice and gradually. Like I said, we got an hour and 8. We got 108 minutes. We got an hour and 48 to get really deep in this. But we will take our freaking time. You know me, I like to sort of smooth myself in and make sure everyone's happy, make sure the stream's going well, make sure the outgoing stream is tickety-boo. It looks good here for me on my secondary display. Make sure the chat's all fine and dandy. I like to engage the chat, which I'm going to do now before we go along any further. Let's engage the chit-chat. Now, I began with hello the internet. Perdbeer, sup, Sergeant Gives calls me Sergeant Gives. I get called the Master Giver over on DLive. And here on YouTube, I'm now being called Sergeant Gives. Sergeant Gives. I kind of like that, actually, but I don't want you to think of me as any form of authority at all. In regards to anything, I'm not the authority figure here. I have an opinion, just like everybody else. I have some personal takes, just like everybody else. I have some experiences, like everybody else, and therefore I form my opinion like everybody else. Now, it may differ to you. That's the beauty of the freaking planet, right? My opinion may differ to you. Your opinion may differ to me. That's no reason why we cannot still be friends. Huh? Jay Boston, are you here? Are you listening? Just because my opinion differs to yours doesn't mean we cannot maintain a friendship. That's a side issue, or that's a side example of how that rolls out, right? Rosie, huh? We can disagree, but we can still maintain a friendship. But, well, not everybody's the same, are they? How's life, Perdbeer? Pretty good. So I answered that and I said, I was just outside with James, my sister's partner. We were looking at the constant battery drain on Stevan. Last time we looked into that, we kind of came away with what we thought might be the issue, a constant 2 amp drain from the interior light fuse. So the fuse that runs, or the circuit that runs the interior lighting. And when you look inside the cabin of Stevan, you see that there are old school fluorescent tubes, because this thing's from 1996 in Japan. But then there's also LED panels that have been obviously put in by a previous owner. So James's thought is that, well, those old, the center, so the front cabin and the rear of the rear cabin, they're in LEDs. But the center one in the rear, which also includes called crystal light. That's the word I couldn't think of in the chat before. It's called crystal light. It's these sort of like space age louvers that go up and down, or they go around the side of the roof of Stevan, and they open and close, and they're controlled either by front cabin controls or rear cabin controls. So that fluorescent tube in the center rear needs to be swapped out to an LED, and we think when they did the back ones and the front ones, they faffed up some wiring or something went wrong. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect all of that center console stuff, because even now I disconnect the light plug thing and those louvers still work when you press the button. So there's still power coming in off that circuit. We've got to eliminate that entirely. In answer to the question though, so the AC is on that same circuit as well. But then Mindy came in and says, such a puzzle, that van. I tell you, this thing, Stevan, has been one thing after the next for me. Has it not? What are we now? This is my, including when I bought it and had to swap the registration to my name, this is the third time. This is the third time that I've actually registered Stevan, and I haven't even used it for what I bought it for. The whole purpose of Stevan, even though I wasn't thinking about doing live, I was thinking about doing content from Stevan. I haven't even done it yet. And it's 3 years in. It's kind of killing me, but we are super, super close. Like we're getting there. We're getting there. And the biggest thing that happened this week is when I went to get registered, my mechanic here, local guy, really nice dude, said, and you need new shocks, man. You need new shocks. I said, I've only driven this like literally 20, 25 times max in the year that the last time I saw him was in June 2019, and June 2020, I've driven it 25 times tops. And he said, I know. He said, I know. I can see by the kilometers you haven't done much. Thing is, it needed it back then, and I didn't say anything. It needs it badly now, just the front shocks. So he said, look at it, man. It's not a very difficult job. He said, I could do it. I could charge you and I could do it. You could buy the part. He said, but you could definitely do this. I know you did the alternator. He said, I know you're not very skilled. And I don't mind you saying that. I know I'm not skilled with this shit, but you did do the alternator. And he looked at him and you did a good job. He said, this is a lot easier. You can do this. So go ahead and buy a set of shocks on eBay. He even said, get cheap ones. Just get no brand, get branded, get unbranded. But I had a look at what's in Stevan right now, and there's ones called Rancho Relaxo. Nothing to do with Rancho Relaxo. So I went ahead and bought the same ones that were already in there. $400, not cheap. Dearer than the alternator. Or was it? Yeah, the alternator was cheaper than that. But I've always known that when I drive Stevan, it's got a terrible. It's like a roller coaster. It bounces around up and down. And when you go across a bit of bitumen or asphalt, when it changes, like they've done some roadworks and there's like a gap and they try to smooth the gap between the old and the new, Stevan hits that and it's like fucking like another world war is erupting at that point. The whole thing just makes god-awful noises. Wait till you see. When we do streaming from Stevan, you wait till you see. Although now you won't even see it because it's going to have new shocks. But even you're driving along, right, and you go over an ant. And the whole thing goes. It's like, well, there must have been an ant down there, right? The whole thing almost fell over. It was bad. I knew that. And when James drove it down here once, he just said, oh, this is terrible to drive, right? It's got a terrible. But don't forget, it's from 1996, and it's got a big ass spare battery in the front behind the passenger seat. So there's a lot of front weight, and there's a massive bull bar, like an aftermarket bull bar on the front. So there's a lot of weight there. But long and the short, we're getting super close. Everything else, the tech and all that stuff. Can I show you some tech now? What I've got for this? Let me just show you this. Let me grab this. This is pretty interesting. I'll just grab this for a second. Guy off the floor here. And I'm getting through the chat. I will get to the bottom of the chat. We got time here, folks. We got 108 minutes. It's the beauty of these long form streams. This here, folks. So to cut a relatively long story short, I'm going to be sending the signal from OBS out HDMI into the LiveView Solo. You know that's what I've been planning on using, right? The LiveView Solo. It's going to bond together two signals. A Telstra signal, which I've just bought using the Nighthawk M2. Received that last week. Perfect stuff. And my existing AC800 from Optus. That's going to take both of those bonded signals, or both of those signals, into the LiveView Solo, sending it up to the LRT bonding cloud. Now, you can input a camera directly into that. You could input any camera source. I could plug this camera straight into that and be good to go. Take the audio off the mic here, good to go. You could use a iPhone into an HDMI connection into that straight away. But what I want to do to make the streams look and feel rad, I want to have the same setup here that we have. So I need to take the HDMI signal out of my laptop into LiveView Solo. The trouble with that, thank you OBS, is that OBS using what they call full screen projector mode. If you're using OBS, just right click on the main desktop area, like wherever you're streaming, and you look down and you see your preview, right click the preview, go down a few, there's a full screen projector mode. That's what they call it, a projector. And what that does is it sends whatever is on your main screen of OBS out the HDMI signal. However, doesn't include audio. They strip the audio from it. It's baffling, right? Like, there's an audio out coming from OBS, but it doesn't go down the HDMI path. Now, we know HDMI is audio as well as video. You know that for years, right? It's been that way. That's how it works. For whatever the reason, OBS infinitely thought they'd strip it. It's bizarre. So, there is a device that gets a little workaround. It's called an audio embedder or de-embedder. So it does both. It strips audio from HDMI or it adds audio back in. A little dip switch here on the front, which determines which one it is. Whichever way you set this tells you what it's doing, whether it's entering or exiting. So very, very simply, on one side here, and I don't know why I bought flat cables, but these are pretty industrial strength, I guess. They're flat HDMI cables, right? Pretty cool. I didn't even know they existed. But either way, this part of the HDMI will go into my output on OBS or my MacBook, which is actually through a dongle. So this will go onto the output there, sending the signal of video into here. And then, as you'd imagine, it's a pass-through, same cable, into LiveView Solo. Now, no audio at this point. The audio will come from a regular, just a regulation audio jack here. Let me just grab this out. This jack here, just a regular audio jack, which will go into your headphone out port, your audio out or your headphone out on your laptop. And then literally this cable just goes into here. And then whatever comes down the audio channel syncs up with the HDMI, bam, on the output straight into the LiveView Solo. There is one other cable you see here. It's a mains power. This guy's powered by the mains, and I've got the Aussie version here. So that's why I need the second battery in Stevan, because I got this plus a whole bunch of other things that need power. So that's basically how it works. But there is one other little catch. As you know, when live streaming, you need a chat, right? And especially when you're streaming from Stevan, you can't stop and look at a chat. It's actually illegal to have what they call is a VDU. A VDU is a loosely grouped term for anything that is a visual display unit. Now, in Australia, under Australian law, it's illegal to have any VDU at all. So you can't have a laptop, you can't have an iPad, you can't have a phone, you can't have anything visually distracting you from driving. So when I'm streaming, I cannot have my laptop up on. I can have the laptop next to me, but the screen's got to be off. Oddly enough, you can have a dash. You can have your dash console on and blaring light at you, and you can have the display showing you the GPS, but you can't have something on the seat. It's a bit of a shitty law, but the way around it is to have text-to-speech. So I can't be looking at the chat, but I can hear the chat. So I need to also be able to monitor whatever's coming out of this audio source. So what did I do? Bought a little splitter here, and this just goes in here. And then out of this section here comes my headphones, and then out of that section goes into the HDMI splitter. So that's a little bit of an issue that I didn't think I'd have to engage. I didn't think we'd go down that path. I thought you would just plug in the HDMI and you'd take the output from OBS, but thank you, OBS. What a great idea. Remove the audio. Brilliant. Who needs audio for live streaming? Nobody does. What do you think you did audio for, you idiots? Idiots, right? I know. You probably could use Mimo Live and pay 12 grand a month for it and get audio out. Share it amongst your friends. It's funny how It's funny how Danny and Mark Ensby used to always spruik Mimo Live, even though they're using it illegally. You know, Danny represents Mimo Live, but they're using it illegally. They're sharing it amongst all their friends. They don't pay the $80 a month, whatever it is for it. Easy. But OBS is free, so there's going to be some hiccups. That's one of them, the audio issue. But I've got around it. So, let's continue with the chit-chat. We got down to that. Such a puzzle, that van. What's up, Mindy? Hey, Benon. Hey, Perd. So we talked a little bit about the van, and then Mindy says, if I win the lottery, Mindy speaking, I'm buying you a new van. And I said, I'll hold you to that. And then Pert said, I'm out of weed again. Now, I'm not sure what that means. Being in Australia, and I'm not sure what that's even in reference to. We got weeds in our garden, dude. I can bring you as much weed as you want. We got heaps of it. In fact, I got seaweed down here, and if that's what you're after, I can definitely help you out there, Pert. But I wouldn't know why you'd want the weed. I mean, I don't know, man. Search me. Perd Bear says, I will go visit my West African brethren. Going on a vacation to West Africa. Well, that sounds fun. Mindy, I got a couple of ounces of weed. Now, I don't know why you'd measure. Do I have to go and measure the weed on the beach here? That's crazy. I got better things to do than to measure weed in ounces. What the hell? You guys can talk about your seaweed together, and I'll just continue with my stream. How about that, eh? I said we could tour the world indefinitely. Mindy said, if I win the lottery, I'd pay you to take me on a guided tour of Australia. And as long as we can live stream that, I'm down, right? I'm down. I need to travel a few years to figure out where to live. There you go. Tim's in the house. Tim Araskog. Hello, all. Morning, Tim. Mindy's channel. Hey, Tim. Got coffee? I asked because Tim always has to go and get coffee. Herbie says, my fantasy is to do a coastal circumnavigation of Africa. Hell yeah. Africa. David Pretty Bread up in the house. Hey, Paula, Mindy, Tim, and Ben. I hope I'll be listening to the stream live, not falling asleep 5 minutes before the start. What time did this kick off for you? Is it late for you? Because the beauty, and I say this every week, but the beauty of these long form live streams is that we are moving into the point where we'll be live. I'll be live all day eventually on this Saturday morning stream. It's going to go to 12 hours eventually. So there'll be time for everybody to pop in and pop out whenever they damn well please. I'll be here the whole time, but you know, I kind of like that. And I said, that's my dream here in Australia too, Perd Beer, to do the whole coast, but to live stream that. That's what I really, really want to do. Live out of a van and be able to live stream daily content. Holy shit, that would be so sick. And I said to David, I'll do my best to keep you awake. And then Perd Beer correctly stated that far north Queensland is definitely problematic to drive. Yeah, there'd be places where we obviously couldn't go, but if you want to do a Benon and physically do everything you say and go to the coast the whole way around, well, you're going to encounter an issue when you get to Tasmania as well, because what do? You jump across the Bass Strait. Holy crap, you scared me, Poopsie. Got a guest here. Do you want to come on? Come and say hello? Okay, that really frightened me. I didn't even hear it come in. I heard the door go. You might have seen me jump. Someone clip that. Come over here, Poopsie, and say hello to the stream.
Why are those bumps there?
There are bumps there. You want to say hello to the chat?
Hello.
Now, I'm not even up to speed on the chat yet, so I can't even see what they're saying because I'm not quite far enough down. But we can do this together.
You know why she's thirsty? Her mum packed her some spare juice.
Really? Her mum packed us some spare juice? Sounds like her mum's coming in now. Oh, do you want to jump back out? Okay. Thanks, James. That was a quick visit from Poopsie. I was going to get to the bottom of the chat because I know you guys like seeing Poopsie, and I knew you would have said hello to her, but she's already off. Perd Beer, I think I'll get a few towns just north of Northern Territory border, but after the going land, yeah. I mean, it would be tricky. It'd be a tricky thing to do, but the idea is just to. The main idea for me with streaming from Steve and from living in a van and doing that is to showcase, right? To give this to people that don't ever get a chance to see it. Now, a lot of it I haven't even seen. I'm very fortunate. I've driven from Sydney to Perth. I've driven from Sydney to Adelaide 4 times along the coast. I've done the Great Ocean Road so many times. Not so many, 4 or 5 times, right? I've done all that stuff, but I know it's so sick. And there's so much cool stuff that we could be doing, like slowly, and to do it effectively, you've got to be able to live in your van, and I've got to be self-contained, shower, washing machine, streaming setup. It's possible, but it's going to be a fair way to get there. And this is the start of that. Streaming from Steve Van is the start of that, I think, anyway. You can go right down the west coast in a long way by road, but not all the way down to Darwin to Perth. There you go. I'd really enjoy watching that. I'd really enjoy yachting. I thought you said I'd really enjoy watching. There you go. Perdby, I have a friend who is retired who wants me to come with him to the Caribbean in a tiny yacht directly from Berlin. Wow. Directly from Berlin. What? You put the yacht in the Rhine? Now back up. I'm still getting down the chat. I will get to the bottom of the chat. So, okay, there you go. Mindy says, go, Tim. Some Aboriginal communities between Darwin and the Gulf of Carpentaria are restricted for access of travel. It's not very inclusive, is it? I mean, just saying, right? Just saying. If we've got to be inclusive of everybody, why are there restricted areas that we can't go to? That's not really fair. That's not inclusive. But I'd be the one that was wrong by saying that, right? What could go wrong, Mindy says. As long as you're able to swim, you'll be fine. Perdby, I trust him. He's super clever. This is your friend from the yacht, right? And he isn't a cowboy, but there is some fear that in a bloody small yacht... Yep. Yeah, pirates and shit, right? Yeah, for sure. What use is swimming when you're in the middle of the Atlantic? You swim till they rescue you. Yeah, there you go. Mindy says, I'd go, except they don't speak German. Yeah, but, I mean, look, Perd speaks very good English too as well, you know, so there's that to be said. You don't need to speak German if you can speak fluent English and someone else can speak German. He speaks English. You can come on the return leg if you make it. That'd have been exciting. G'day, Fred. How you going? Good to see you, Fredsky. Fred Parry up in the house. We can't see you. That's the reason why I have this, folks. You know, when you're live streaming, there are so many times when people come into the chat and try to throw you off, try to unravel you. It's like, nah, not going to get me. Not going to get me. Tim, Monday, it could also have been quite dangerous seeing as some of the pirates are well armed. There you go. Now, did I give you a 10-minute warning there? I did, didn't I? Mike gives a minute. Where's... Oh, there you go. So I said, okay, I'll see you all in 10 a little while back. Now, what you don't know, probably, you might know, I did a bunch of YouTube stories in that 10-minute gap. And I kind of showed you in story form what that 10 minutes looks like for me. How I do my last preliminary checks before going live, how I go into hair and makeup, and a few other things. So if you want to have a bit of a giggle, don't leave the stream, but if you've got a secondary device, and you got to do it on mobile. I don't think stories exist on the desktop. You got to go onto YouTube mobile app, either Android or iOS. Check my story. It's a little sequence of videos just before this stream began. So back down to the chat where we're up to. We can't see you. Pretty easily have the high ground. Perdby, I used to visit Lamu a lot. Sail from India. There you go. Hannah, hello Hannah. Good morning. How do you do? Nice to have you. Nice to see you. Nice to know you. Never knew you streamed here. Hannah, I kind of don't really... See, YouTube's a funny one, right? YouTube's a fickle place. I don't really talk about my YouTube stream too much. Again, I want to repeat myself. I'm not going to stop YouTube. YouTube's important, but I have a lot more fun over on DLive. The YouTube streams are once a week, and they're a little more intense, if you like. A little more intense going on here. A little bit more focused, if you like. By the way, I say this every week, but I'm shit scared here on YouTube. I don't know why. I'm physically nervous here. This one's a little bit shakier than this one. I'm physically nervous. I don't get nerves streaming to DLive at all. I can stream for 5 hours on DLive and not even... nothing, right? But on YouTube, I get really nervous. I don't know why that is. I still can't work out why that is, but it's nice to see you up there, Hannah. By the way, where are you in your avatar? Now, I'm getting to the bottom of the chat, folks. I'm just taking my time. If the van is rocking, don't come knocking. There you go. Perdby, hi Hannah. Tim says, hey, Ben on Super Cheap Auto are doing a huge sale of parts for older vehicles. Shocks for your van with 99 cents each. But you just bought a set of shock. Bullshit, Tim. I just paid $400. Let me take a screenshot of that. I'll check after the stream. Hannah, by the way, Gibbs, I forgot to send you a download link for all my music. I'll try to remember to do it tomorrow. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you. Yes, please remember. That'd be great. So let me tell you, my shocks that I bought. You know what? I'm going to open up my mail client on a YouTube stream. I never like doing this. I want to show you exactly what I bought. Actually, I haven't even got the email from. I haven't got the email from the company. Oh no, here we go. So in the chat, I'm going to pop this in the chat. This is going to go in the chat. Tim, if you can find me a link. In the chat is literally what I bought from for $400. If you're going to tell me that they're 99 cents right now, I'm going to come through the internet and I'm going to tear you a new one. Let me be clear. And we'll get to the bottom of the chat. We are getting there, folks. We are getting there. It's Benon's fault. I've told him I get good prices anyway, but this was a simple public sale. Okay, so there you go. If you can find me a link to that actual brand, Rancho, whatever they are. Blackbeard in the house. G'day, Blackbeard here. How you doing? I only smoke seaweed. How you going, Blackbeard? I like that, dude. Poopsie, there you go, Poopsie. Hey, it's Poopsie. There you go. Everyone's saying Poopsie. Now, oh shit, I'm almost up to speed in the chat here, folks. Tim, good morning, young lady. Good morning, Mindy. Poopsie. She's a cute little lady. She is, isn't she? That's my sister's child. She's beautiful. Coastal Victoria is so awesome. Yeah. The coast round up through the far north Queensland is better than Victoria. Okay. You go by the Spree and they have then the other. Oh, yeah, the River Spree, and then you have to then the other river to Hamburg. There you go, Perd. The Spree goes through Spreenhagen, which is where my father was born. Charlotte Rose in the house. Charlotte Rose, it's good to see you. Nice to have you. Nice to know you. Mindy's channel, Charlotte. How you go, Tim? Hello, Charlotte Rose. My secret desire. Don't tell anyone because it's a secret. We already knew Tim. How are you, Charlotte Purdy? You don't have any thumbs down this week. I bet it was the Flat Earthers. I mean, hey, let me tell you about this. Remember the call I put out to the Flat Earthers? I said, if you have a problem with what I'm discussing here and you believe the Earth is flat, I do not want to see comments in the comments field. I want you to man up or balls up, and I want you to be able to come on for a live stream to discuss your views. So I'm not going to entertain you if you're a keyboard warrior, right? There's plenty of those flat earth keyboard warriors. If you've got a point to make, if you put it in my chat, I'm going to reply with great, or that's great, come on my show. And I'm talking, I want you visibly on the show to discuss your points. None of this fucking massive Discord of bullshit. And then this goes on for weeks back and forward. I want you to man the shit up and speak on behalf of yourself and the Flat Earth community. Not a single comment on that video in regards to how wrong I was about my beliefs of the Flat Earth. Not a single comment. Not a single comment. Funnily enough, you go back onto another video where we talked about the Flat Earth, another live stream, a video on demand, and they're all popping off in that one about the Flat Earth. But nobody's done anything in the one where I said, don't put your comments, man up about it. Get on your Zooms and your Skypes and let's have a discussion. Nobody wants to go on record, right? They all want to slam me for going on record for my beliefs. They're all happy to do it with a little keyboard. Enter, enter, show them. But they can't do it personally. You know why? Because I don't think they actually believe it. I think they think they believe it, but they're not actually sure. They don't want to get ridiculed by their friends. So they just hide behind an avatar and a keyboard warrior. But you tell them, hey, I'm out here putting my beliefs down, saying what I believe. You disagree with it, then man up, woman up, person up, avatar up, come here out with me, have it out. The only person who's agreed to that, and it's, God bless his soul, Building the Realm over on DLive. He said, man, I'll definitely have a discussion with you. And he also said he's changed his beliefs.
Steak?
Money's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Blackbeard with $3. Thank you, Blackbeard. Cheers, my friend. Money's too tight for steak. Thank you, Blackbeard. Appreciate you, buddy. Yeah, unbelievable. Nobody wants to have that discussion except one person, and that's because he's flexible. He's changed his belief pattern slightly, which is beautiful, right? So when we have that setup done, one of my first guests will be Building the Realm. I wonder if he'll have his chicken behind him. There you go. Rancho, yeah, that's the link. They closed all Ibiza. So it was Ibiza in your profile pic. Very cool. Very cool. They closed Ibiza clubs for the whole summer season. Big sad. Yeah. The look on Bennon's face when he read Tim's offer. Yeah. Never heard of Rancho, KYB Japan, which are the original Mitsubishi shocks or Bilston shocks would possibly be better. There you go. So if you can't get me the Rancho RS 9000 XLs for 99 cents, I don't want to know about the sale. Hell yeah. If you believe in something, put your face on what you believe. When the Building the Realm is a guy that actually is open for... Building the Realm is a beautiful dude, right? His beliefs completely differ to mine, like 100% categorically differ. But he is open to having the discussion about that. And he's not afraid to put his beliefs down and say, yeah, man, this is why I believe that. Great stuff. And he's popping off on DLive. He's going somewhere. Folks, we're at the bottom of the chat, so we'll bring that up for everybody to see there on the screen. Thank you again for the chat that we have here. I say this every week, but it's extremely important to have a live chat in a live feed, right? If you guys are all chatting in the chat and I'm ignoring it, then what's the point of having a live stream? This conversation is between all of us here. And that's why I spend a lot of time going through the live chat till I get up to speed with it. Now, it won't always be possible for me to do that. There'll come a time where it's like, dude, you got to pick or choose what you do here because your chat's moving too quick. But at the stage that we're in with my live content, I can afford to do that. We do have time to do it. So I'm going to do it. And if you don't like it, I get it. No one seems to be upset with it, but I just want to explain it very clearly every week why I spend a lot of time on this opening piece and this intro to get to where I am. Hannah's got a split. No worries, Hannah. I'm going to go to sleep, though. Been up for 29 hours. Holy shit. Get those Z's. See you soon on DLive. Yeah, thanks, Hannah. I'll be on later on this afternoon. Thank you, Hannah. Very cool. Folks, what we're going to do here, we are going to get into the content. But to get us there, let's get really nasty and enjoy some metal from Adelaide.
Welcome back to the Slightly Random Daily Song! Sabon Kira, Adelaide Metal. Now, if I was to go back in history and try to work this out, I'd be stumping myself, but I think I met these boys initially at Eliza Palooza, which was a festival held in Elizabeth, an outlying suburb of Adelaide in the north. These boys were playing there. Someone had told me to check out this metal band. I can't recall who it was. I'd love to know who that was that said, you know what, it might have been the Poetical Justice Boys. I got a feeling it was the Poetical Boys. Either way, that was 2009. Their show was rad. These guys are incredibly tight. Even back then, they were an incredibly tight metal band in Adelaide. The next year, they got bumped onto the local stage at the Big Day Out, which was huge. And I guess from there on, we developed quite a good working relationship. The boys have had me come and do promo work with them multiple times. The most recent was in 2016? I think it was 2016. They were opening for Lamb of God on their tour, and they booked me to fly into Adelaide to do promo work before the show and then shoot the show as well. So I'll flick in some photos from that as well. But what I want to play for you today is from their full-length album, In the Wake of Change. One of my favorite tracks from this album is called Under My Skin. And I'm going to put you down here and you can watch the ocean here. There's a guy out there getting some waves. Let's put you down here like this. About here. Probably like that. I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good angel, right? Yeah, for you to see it. Got the view there. While you enjoy the view, enjoy the tunes. This is Sabon Kira from the In the Wake of Change album, Under My Skin. Yeah! you go, folks. Sabon Kira from In the Wake of Change. Under My Skin. That's the album from 2013. What did you think? Did you enjoy that? Great metal band out of Adelaide. Great dudes. I highly encourage you to go and check out the album. And now while I sit down and listen to the whole album, you guys can go back to the live stream.
My jaw dropped. Happy Canadian. Holy shit, dude. That is the biggest super chat I've ever seen. What the? Permission to fucking swear? Thank you very much. Holy moly. 50 big ones? I mean, I'm speechless. I'm blown away by the generosity. Happy Canadian. I went out of the room to get myself a coffee here. Come back to a super chat of 50 freaking bucks. I mean, I hadn't even said hello to you at this point. I didn't even know you were here. And the first thing you drop is a $50 super chat. Happy Friday, cheers. Happy Friday indeed. Thank you so much, dude. Wow. That's amazing. Jeffrey, the THC, the Happy Canadian, thank you so much. And Perdbeer, I saw you. Good evening, THC. I know you love calling him that. I think that's a happy coincidence that it's THC, but Happy Canadian, dude, I mean, I always say it, when there's a donation, it's like a pat on my back, right? You've just knocked me over from the back. You've just come over and gone, this is not a pat, this is a flattening. You just flattened me from the back. Thank you. And you can flatten me whenever you damn well like, dude. Holy shit, man. And how rad does that look too? It's pink. I didn't choose the pink. That looks so, look at it on the screen. It looks beautiful. Oh man, thank you. Thank you so much. If we had a hosting feature on YouTube, I'd ask you to who we want to host at the end of this stream, but we don't have that here on YouTube. Stuart Coots, what a lad. G'day, Stuart. How do you do, my friend? Cheers, my friend. Nice to see you. Nice to have you. Nice to know you. Yeah, what a lad. Like, dude. I mean, the way I see super chats, right? It's like you're enjoying the stream. We're having a good conversation. The conversation's free flowing. We're having a good chat. And then you're like, okay, this is cool. I'll kick this guy a few bucks. But you hadn't even said anything. The first we saw of you was to jump. You just walked into the room and went, here's money. And then we'll have a chat. It's like, that shows me that you know, first of all, you know me, right? And I know you, of course. But that shows me that you know my content. And you know that we're going to have a good time here. It's like, you're confident enough to just come in willy-nilly with a donation, given that you've seen my previous streams, you've seen my previous content, so you know that this is going to be good. It's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Thank you, Happy Canadian. It makes me want to do this, man. Makes me want to do this. I don't care how hot it is. Makes me want to wear the Happy Canadian toque that you sent me about 2 years ago now. I still wear this all the time. This is my Canadian toque. It's going to be too warm to wear this, but I'm going to wear it for a little while. I don't care. I'm wearing, this is in honor of the Happy Canadian. Thank you, my friend. Make sure I can still hear through. It's not correctly fitting my freaking skull. Oh, you can't see the Canada. Oh, hold on. There you go. This is for you, Happy Canadian. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, really, really incredible. So back to the chat. Blackbeard, hello to Mindy and to Stuart. Per evening, Happy Canadian. We're all doing okay. It's been very humid here the last few days, so only going out when you need to. You got humid conditions as well as heat. That's like the northern part of Australia when it gets stupidly hot, but also wet heat. Actually, by the way, this is quite nice in here at the moment. I know it's going to get too warm though, and especially with a coffee as well. Humid here, like 80%. Oh, wow. So yeah, I mean, up in the north part of Queensland, we get like 98% humidity, where it's kind of like walking through a rain cloud, but it's stupidly hot. 40 degrees Celsius for the happy Canadian. Shit. Blackbeard, Texas always feels like 100 degrees outside. Now, is that Fahrenheit or Celsius? That would be Fahrenheit, right? Texas is awesome. Very cool, Jeff. Mindy, totally. Again, what a lad. Totally, totally, totally. Much love, buddy. Thank you, happy Canadian. Thank you, man. Thank you again. Wow. Tim, Benon just sent you a text message, a photo of the super cheap receipt showing the shock absorber price I paid. No, I'm not denying that. I never disbelieved you. All I'm saying is, if you can't find the exact Rancho springs that I needed, shocks that I needed, I'm not interested. Because don't forget, I just bought them. Like, literally paid for it on Friday, and I got the email. It'll probably ship on Monday. But I get you. You got a cheap one. If I could find the one that I needed, I'd try to get a refund from 4wheeldrive1. 4wheeldrive1.com is where I bought them from. I'll work on prices for your brand of shocks. Thanks, man. Happy Canadian, you've helped me so much, my friend. It is my pleasure to show my appreciation to you and the channel. Thank you, Happy Canadian. Fahrenheit, yeah, I thought so. Blackbeard, Fahrenheit, folks. This is beautiful. This is amazing. I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I'm a little warm right now. I'm going to take this off already because I knew that would happen. It gets too hot in this room to live stream with a beanie on, but at least I can keep this somehow in the frame. Where could I put this? If I put this, I guess I could put it over here, and then when we cut to on that speaker, oh, you know what? I could put it on the edge of the chat here. I reckon, hang on, is this going to work? If I put this up on the edge of the chat screen, at least you'll be able to see it kind of hanging off the side there. That's kind of rad. It also sort of sits right on the super chat. So where the super chat, oh, you guys can just see that too. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll keep that up there. Not forever, but just for the time being. But folks, we are going to move into the meat of the conversation today. It's about, how do you guys feel about the USA Police Department? Now, we're going to watch a couple of videos here. And again, this is going to get pretty heavy. So we're going to watch I guess this is all based around the Rayshard Brooks shooting, right? You know the story by now, surely. A gentleman was drunk in a drive-through for a Wendy's fast food outlet, and he was sleeping because he was maggot drunk, right? So he was found to be sleeping in the lineup. I know an old friend of mine used to fall asleep drunk wherever he go to nightclubs, and you'd see him up against the wall asleep, right? It's not unusual for someone to get drunk enough to fall asleep like that in a drive-through lineup. The scary part is that he drove there. Now, that puts a lot of people at risk. He was a drunk driver. Okay, he was on a private property at the point where he got found, but he would have had to have driven there, right? So it's not like a car just appeared out of nowhere in the Wendy's driving lot. He actually drove to get there, right? So the story is, just for those that don't know, the story is that he declined, he denied being drunk. He was saying he only had 2 margaritas in the whole afternoon, and then he changed it to 2 daiquiris, and then he changed it back, and he it's very strange. He passed the sobriety test with flying colors, but then he blew extremely over the limit. So he was clearly what we call maggot drunk in Australia. We also call it legless, right? When you literally cannot stand up. He wasn't quite legless. But at some point during this altercation, or this police report investigation, I suppose, the gentleman, Rayshard Brooks, made the silly decision to try to leg it, which, you know, when you're drunk, you make stupid decisions. I'm going to go and talk to that girl. That girl's got a man right next to her. No, she's single. No, you make a stupid decision and you pay for it, right? He made a stupid decision. Based on what, I don't know, because at no time, and what we're going to see, you'll see it, at no time throughout the whole incident did he look like he would start to leg it. He looked very polite to the cops. He was kind of laughing about it. He knew that he'd been caught. I think he realized, I've been caught. I just want to go home. I've been caught. And then he tried to leg it. There was a scuffle. He managed to grab one of the officers' tasers, and he broke free of the 2 officers, which is kind of strange. A man who was maggoted asleep in his car managed to break free from 2 officers, grab their taser, and start running. And then some stupid decision number 2 on this gentleman's behalf, he turned around and aimed the taser at the cop. And so then the cop shot him dead. Now, they're the facts, right? You cannot deny that this happened because we see it happen and we're going to see it here. So I'm just reminding you that this is a little gnarly, right? This is a little deep. But what we want to do is we want to watch. I got 2 videos. I got one from a gentleman called Donut Operator. He's a well-established YouTuber who does talk about these kind of intense situations. Now, the reason we're watching his video, we're not going to watch it in its entirety, but we're going to watch the bulk of it because it does show the different angles. I shouldn't be silly during this run, but there's multiple cameras that have been pieced together to showcase from different angles what all happened. And now at some point in his video, you do see the gentleman get shot. Now, I will stop it before that. I don't want to broadcast someone dying on a stream. Even though this is available online, you can go and find it yourself, but I'm not going to broadcast that, so I'll be very quick to get out of there before we broadcast it. But we're then going to go ahead and watch. I sent a text to Benon's mobile phone. Yeah, Tim, I won't. I've got my phone on Do Not Disturb during a live stream. And then we're going to watch the body cam footage of the officer. I think it actually swaps between 2 of the officers. That this is the body cam footage that came out from this arrest. Now, it's going to open up a bunch of discussion points, and I'm happy to have the discussion. And by the way, if you guys are here, maybe there's someone in the chat that is not speaking up. Maybe there's someone here that's not a regular and they want to engage the chat. I'm just letting you know I'm open to all discussion points here. My personal opinion is the cops haven't done anything wrong here. That's my personal opinion. You may differ, and you're within the right to differ. But we want to be open about it. We want to have clarity. We want to be able to discuss it as open-mindedly as possible. It's a fucking shame what happened. I believe it's the wrong decision based on a drunken man. He made a couple of wrong decisions. The first decision wrong was to get in his vehicle to go and get fucking Wendy's. He should have gone to a better food joint. That's one wrong decision. The second wrong decision is to get in his vehicle anyway. He's drunk. And he knew he was drunk. So you don't put others at risk by operating a vehicle while drunk, right? That's a given. Any drunk driver should get a massive whoosh. They shouldn't get shot dead, but they should get a massive slap over the head, not just for what you could do to yourself, but what you could do to everybody around you, because you're inebriated. You cannot operate a vehicle. You cannot drive at speeds that are required on a main road, and then you cannot navigate into a lineup. It's a terrible decision to make. And anybody who drinks, and I'm one of them, you know when you're drunk, and you know these are not for you when you're drunk. You should, if you can't resist the drink and the drive, then you should give your keys to somebody else and say, I'm going to booze up, take my keys because I know I'm going to want to go driving and get more booze later on. Hide these from me. So he made the terrible decision to get in his vehicle and drive while drunk. Does he deserve to be dead for that? Hell no. He made the stupid decision to resist the arrest. But there is speculation here, and we'll see this from the body cam footage. At no point did the officer say, I'm placing you under arrest. He just went around his back and said, put your hands together. And the guy being drunk you can kind of see him sort of like, what? And then he kind of twigged like, I'm getting arrested. Fuck no. It's like, had the officer have said, sir, I believe you're intoxicated. You're going to operate a motor vehicle. You have been operating a motor vehicle. I'm putting you under arrest. I think it would have gone a little differently. But the officer did it so quick without actually saying anything. And then you do that to a drunken dude. You've seen it. I've done it, right? You're drunk and you're sitting there and someone says something to you and you're like, no, she's not. And then you twig and you go, yes, she is! Fuck! And you don't even know you've done it, right? Because you're so slow to react. And I reckon that's what happened at that point. And then he became the stronger man wins because he's obviously stronger than both those cops to get away from them. The grabbing of the taser, obviously he's thought, well, I can tase them, right? I'm not going to shoot the officer. I'm not going to kill them. There's speculation whether a taser is a deadly weapon or not. I've heard people say, but a taser can kill someone. It's like, yeah, but if a taser can kill someone, why do they have a taser and a gun? Why not just use the gun? Why if a taser can kill you, why not use a gun? So he grabbed the taser, or probably the first thing he could grab. Again, a wrong decision. Wrong decision. Does he deserve to die from that? No. But there is a law in America called the fleeing felon rule. And we'll look into that as well, which, let me be clear, the fleeing felon, that rule does give the cop in America the right to use deadly force to disarm and to remove the threat of a felon fleeing. Now you could say, but he was running away from them. And that's what everyone's been saying. You shot a black man in the back. Well, not technically, and unfortunately we're not going to show this, but if you go and watch it yourself, you see the gentleman turn around and aim the taser at the cop. So at that point, the cop's going, well, I'm getting shot at here with a taser, which could be a lethal weapon. I'm going to use what I know is in my rights, the law, the fleeing felon law. I'm going to shoot this guy. In my mind, they should have shot him in the arm or in the leg, but they get trained to shoot the most critical body mass, right? And unfortunately, 3 shots like that, 2 of them which hit, killed the guy. So let me just read the chat, and then we'll get into the to the videos. Perd, I wouldn't characterize his decisions as stupid. He was going back to jail potentially for quite a long time. The US justice system is so barbaric. They make fleeing a rational decision. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's weighed it up in his mind. He's like, I'm drunk. They've caught me. What's going to happen next? I'm going to go to jail. Fuck no. But if you were sober and you'd done something, whatever it was, I've done something, they've caught me, I'm going to go to jail. Or what about if we get a decent lawyer? Or what about if this comes into play? You have more chance to sort of figure it out. Whereas when you're drunk, you just make the snap decision at the time. And yeah, I see where you're going. I see where you're going, Perdbeer. Donut Operator is a great channel. I sub to him. Yeah, he's good. He's good. If it was so clear they did nothing wrong, they wouldn't have been charged. Well, that's the thing. I think that they're being charged with public opinion because they're legally... We'll get to it. We'll get to it. I don't understand why they do field sobriety tests in the USA. The BAC test is a good indicator. It's all about humiliation. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. Stuart says, he's in the wrong, but I don't get why the cops have to have guns. It's dumb. You don't see that happening in the UK. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the same in Australia. Like, we have guns on cops, but do they bring them out like that? No. Also, you'll see this from the footage, but the angle that the cop used to shoot him behind... what's his name, Rayshard Brooks, behind him, there's a lineup of cars waiting to get into the Wendy's. So if that cop misfired, he potentially could have shot a civilian. Just a dude waiting for a big sloppy burger from Wendy's. Could have been dead. So it's just so shit. Tim says, Stuart, because villains don't simply stop offending when asked to, especially when under the influence of drugs, it's just that some US cops are too likely to shoot someone. Plus, not everyone can be controlled by capsicum spray. Okay. Tasers cannot penetrate thick clothing due to short barbs. Okay. Did they know he was a felon? Well, that's the thing, Perd. At the time that he was found to be asleep in the vehicle, the cop obviously was building the case that you drove this here, right? You drove this vehicle here in a drunken state, therefore you're drink driving. And that's the conviction at that point. Sir, I believe this guy's a drunk driver. He's in the parking lot of Wendy's. He drove his vehicle here. He fell asleep during his order. I mean, that's illegal, right? That's... What about if this guy, Rayshard Brooks, what about if he didn't make it to Wendy's? What about if he drove up the freeway and was so drunk he was swerving and hitting fucking pedestrians, knocking over postmen, ran over the curb, into the sidewalk, over a fucking median strip and smashed into a whole family walking their dog? I mean, at that point you'd say, this guy's a fuckwit. He was so drunk. What a dickhead. He somehow managed to navigate his drunkenness into Wendy's and fell asleep, but he's okay? I'm sorry, this guy was a reckless drunk driving a vehicle. At that point, you can't deny that, right? Does he deserve to die from this? Hell no. He deserves to be removed his license, though, like any drunk driver, right? And if that means jail time, that's so be it. The dude's a drunk driver. What more needs to be said? I don't know what his prior convictions were. He knows, that's probably why he legged it, but he deserves to be punished for what he did. Not killed. Not killed. Hell no. That's fair enough. I guess I'm just lucky to live in the UK where the police ain't scary. Yeah. The cops here are dicks in Australia too, but they're not quite the dick that the US ones are. Rochelle's in the house. G'day, Rochelski. G'day, Rochelle. Tim Stewart, very rare. Though the UK cops have sadly had to use their firearms. There you go. Indeed. Purd. I would be petrified of going to the US jail. They wonder why people flee. In Germany, it's very civilized unless you're truly a horrid person. See, in my mind, a drunk driver is a horrid person. In my mind, a drunk driver is the worst kind of person because they can kill without even meaning it and repeatedly and not even know they're doing it. I think that's the worst. Not the cops are bad here. Gives you make me mad. That sad make me mad said that. Is drink driving a felony? Absolutely, dude. It's all over the world, man. General population within the UK and Australia are less likely to go overboard as somewhere in the US. But a felon is not a person who is suspected of a felony. They are a person convicted for a felony. Well, if he's a convicted felon, then that's I mean, surely they would have sussed that out on their calls, right? So let's go ahead and watch this first video here from Donut Operator. This gives you a pretty good overall a summary of this. And again, I'm going to get out of here before we get to the actual killing.
Atlanta police were called to a Wendy's on Friday night because a person had fallen asleep in their car in the drive-thru and they were blocking the drive-thru. Police show up and find 27-year-old Rayshard Brooks in his car in the driveway, asleep. They get to talking to him. They get him to move his car over to one of the parking spaces, and it turns out he smells like alcohol and he's slurring a little bit.
Would you agree?
You take care of that. You're a man. You figure out what we're going to eat tonight.
All right, let's move past that. Would you agree that you've had too much to drink to drive?
I mean, I can focus, Mr. Roth. I can.
So at that, I'll make that full screen. At that point, he hasn't actually answered the cop, so you already can see that he is drunk, right?
Focus.
Would you agree that you've had too much to drink to drive?
I haven't had, to the point where I can't focus.
Okay.
I was a little tired ahead of the day because we just came from North
Do
Carolina.
you think that you're safe to operate a vehicle right
Absolutely, Mr. Roth.
now? And how much have you had to drink?
I had 1.5 margaritas, Mr. Roth.
1.5 margaritas.
Yes, sir.
He's slurring his speech. I had 2 margaritas. He's either nervous or he's drunk, and he has not had 2 margaritas.
Margaritas.
I'm only going a few minutes down the road, Mr.
I got you.
Roth.
I'm just asking, will you take a preliminary breath test for me?
I mean, I don't know what it is.
I just said it's a little handheld machine. Lets me know if it's positive or negative for the presence of alcohol. That's part of my investigation.
You know it is the press.
Rochelle, what are you talking about? It's not right to pick on this. Rochelle, I think you're missing the point here, Rochelle. What I'm asking here is, what are your thoughts on the US police after this scenario? What are your thoughts?
I know.
Drinking.
I know, I can tell. Put your mouth over the mouthpiece, blow as hard as you can until I tell you to stop. Blah, 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 stop. Very good.
Because of this, they started a driving under the influence investigation, which involves field sobriety tests and also blowing into their little handheld blood alcohol meter. Brooks blew a .108, which by all accounts is absolutely hammered. You
0.108, right? So 0.8 or 0.008 is the legal requirement.
should not be behind the wheel of a car. The legal blood alcohol level in the majority of the country is .08. And
there you
as
go.
I said, he blew a .108.
Yes.
That's really, really, really drunk. I know there are people out there already saying, well, Donut, that doesn't mean he should be shot to death. Just let me finish the video. Because he was hammer-faced, officers decide that they should arrest him. They go to put him into cuffs, and he jerks away and tries to run.
And that's where the speculation lies. I'm not sure if his video shows it, but when they went to put him in cuffs, they never said anything. They just cuffed him, right? Turn around, sir. I would have thought that the cop has to say, we believe you're drunk, operating a motor vehicle, you're now under arrest, turn around, put your hands together.
Pull him back down to the ground, and he starts fighting them.
All right.
I really don't, Mr. Ross.
All right. I think you've had too much to drink to be driving. Put your hands behind your back for me.
You see that? He doesn't say, I think you've had too much to drink to be driving, I'm placing you under arrest. He just grabbed him.
All right. I think you've had too much to drink to be driving. Put your hands behind your back for me. Here, put your hands behind your back.
Wrong decision right there. Now, this is where this video gets better than the body cam because it cuts to different angles. But we aren't going to watch it. We're gonna bump out of it, right? We're not going to show the death. That's not what the point of this video or this live stream is.
He's fighting with officers. He's punching them. He's trying to get away. He eventually manages to take one of the officers' tasers and run off. There are 4 different camera angles to this incident. There's Officer 1's body cam, Officer 2's body cam, a bystander's cell phone footage, and Wendy's security footage.
Hey Rochelle, if you haven't been able to listen to the start of the stream and you're just coming in slamming me, then fine. I'm going to ignore you from here on in though, because you're missing the point here. So this is shot from someone's vehicle. So he managed to, and by the way, at that point there, the cop did get a taser off, didn't he? Look, that cop just fired a taser right then. Again, so he did get tased. Did he miss or something? Because that taser's been discharged at least twice there. Did he miss him, or did it get the cop or something? How did he manage to evade 2 police officers? I mean, this guy's pretty strong. And then he's legging it. So at that point, he's getting tasered, right?
About 15 yards away, he turns around and he points the taser at the officer. Some news sources are saying that he actually deployed the taser, while others are saying he just pointed it at him. It's clear in the video that he did at least point the taser at the officers. That is when the officer who was closest to him fired 3 shots, fatally wounding him.
Now we're not gonna see this, but so here we go, coming in from the left here. Now we're not gonna watch this because this is not the point of this stream. But at that point there is where he gets a little further along and he turns. So obviously Rayshard Brooks has used the taser. He's deployed the taser. You can see it right there. So the taser's gone off. The cop has reacted and he's pulled out his gun and shot the dude dead 3 times, connecting twice. So we're not playing that. That's not the point of this stream. We're not going to play the rest of that clip. We're going to get out of there. And I want to jump into the body cam footage from the officers. Now, we can talk over this as we go along. We'll make it full screen. So as we move through this, I do want to have the conversation. It's good our police are not like those in some Asian, African, or South American countries where police shootings and corruptions are strife with very little legal protection. I mean, at this point, because of body cams, we're very lucky, I suppose, to be able to see exactly what goes down here. How's this monetized, by the way? This is the body cam footage. It's all monetized. Here in Missouri, our precincts are like all-powerful fiefdoms.
What's up, my man? Hey. What's my man? Hey. Hey, man, you're parked in the middle of the drive-thru line here.
Always compare upwards per deer in terms of police service.
Sir. What's up, man? Hey, you're parked in the drive-thru right now. Hey, sir. You right? Dude, you're parked. You're sitting in the drive.
At this point, I got to tell you, if this was an Australian police officer, not only would you be arrested, but you would be charged with operating a mobile phone while operating a vehicle. That's a phone on his lap. Can't be doing that.
What's up? So you're parked in the drive-thru line. You're blocking traffic here. You were sleeping when I walked up here. What's up, man? You just have a long day or something? What's up?
Was the cop who fired the shots the initial officer or the second officer? The second officer.
People calling said you were blocking me, all right?
The second one.
You good? You don't need an ambulance or anything like that? Are you just tired? All right, man.
Hey, Rochelle. I think you're completely off center here. I don't know what your deal is, but you seem to have come in here with a vengeance. What I'm suggesting here is The cops haven't done anything wrong. What's your opinion on that? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying this gentleman did not deserve to die by being drunk in a parking lot. But he was a drunk driver who operated a motor vehicle on a suburban street, and he deserved to be arrested. I'm saying, Rochelle, I've got to be super clear with you, right? I'm saying the cops here have not done anything wrong. What's your opinion? You're giving me all this shit saying it's not okay to pick on our cops. I'm not picking on your cops. I'm saying the facts, and I'm asking your opinion. And you're popping off with me like, I'm leaving, Gibbs, not fair. Well, then you know what? If you don't understand it or you don't grasp it, then yeah, I can't help you there. What I'm saying is, this guy, and we did this at the beginning of this, and you might have come in late, but this guy drove his motor vehicle while drunk to go and get Wendy's big slothful burgers. He's drunk. He wants to get food, right? He made the wrong decision to drive drunk. Luckily, he managed to get into the Wendy's and make an order, and then he fell asleep in the lineup. The guy's a drunk driver. He deserves to be arrested. He deserves to be convicted for drunk driving. He doesn't deserve to be shot dead. What are your opinions? That's what I'm saying. If you come in here and give me all this shit, I'm leaving. Hendrik, can you talk to your fiance, man? She's been a dick. I watched this and the first officer was professional. Totally, yeah. Very much so. Very much so, Perd. How you going, Hendrik, by the way? Sorry, man. Rochelle, man. Sometimes it's like Rochelle, you can't come into a stream and have missed most of it and then start popping off with the streamer, right? Until you know what the facts are here, what we're discussing, you gotta embrace it, right? Because your actions right now are very troll-esque. I'm just saying, it's very troll-esque.
Car, just pull somewhere and take it out. All right. 2805 Grand Avenue. All right, you good?
Yeah.
All right. So you're just gonna show a maximum motion for rescue.
What is yoi? What is yoi? What is yoi? I'm sorry, Rochelle. I can't deal with you today, Rochelle. I can't deal with that. We're trying to have a totally open, legitimate discussion about this, and I'm getting by Gik, Yoi, VM give. What does it even mean? What do those words even mean?
My man, it doesn't mean go back to sleep. You gotta move your car. You went back to sleep. You went back to sleep. Okay, why don't you move your car into a parking spot, okay?
Rochelle, you're this close to getting a timeout here. Rochelle, you're this close to getting a timeout. No, Gibbs, I'm not letting you pick on the USA cops. You are this close to getting a timeout. Very close, dude.
Sleep, just pull over there. I got you. Okay, all right, thank you.
Blackbeard, this is making people not want to be officers anymore. Soon there will be none. I completely agree. This officer, by the way, right now, you don't see this, right? There it is. You do see it just out of the corner of the frame. He did drive over the curb. At that point, though, you got to say to the cop, why did you let him drive his vehicle even just that short distance to park it? That's operating a motor vehicle under the influence. At the point the cop turned up, the cop hadn't seen him drive the vehicle. Now, it's assumed he drove it because he's sitting in it when it's all switched on, fast asleep. But he hadn't actually witnessed it yet. But right there, I wonder if he didn't die, I wonder if there might have been some kind of legal standing where Rayshard Brooks says, well, I didn't actually operate that vehicle. You haven't got any proof of that. Only until the officer told me to drive. The future is scary. I don't see any benefit in field sobriety tests using... Yeah, I didn't understand that as well. I thought, why not just use the blow-in thing, right? Why do all the stand and look, all that stuff? It doesn't make any sense.
You're a Ford Radio 26.
So now he's obviously telling the dispatch that he's got a drunk driver here. Bird Beer agrees with BB. The future is scary, yeah. And I guess that's the ultimate conclusion of this discussion today, I suppose. What do you think this means for police? We're seeing lots of different states in America disarm the cops, remove funding from the police, add funding to other people. Like, there's been a conversation which has been based around why should it be two emergency services, police and fire, when in this instance, do we need either of them to turn up? We need to get this guy off the road, undeniably, right? He's a drunk driver. He shouldn't be on the road operating a vehicle. Does he need to get arrested and does he need to go to jail? No, he needs to get sober. So he might need like a psychiatrist. He might need an alcohol, what do they call them? Alcohol Anonymous or one of those guys. He might need more than he needs a cop to say you're busted, right? Rochelle, are you drunk? Rochelle, are you drunk? Because I'm glad Hendrik's here. Hendrik, are you seeing this? Rochelle, are you drunk right now? I'm gonna put it down to you being drunk right now. I gotta tell you, you must be drunk. If you're drinking right now, for the love of everybody, put your keys away. Do not drive.
Right now.
All right.
Your call is coming out. She advised she will be parked in the back of that address.
I like these body cams though. Hey, I think they're kind of neat. You know what next is though? Elon Musk, right? But let me go on record with this. Elon Musk with his Starlink satellite should deploy live streaming from every officer's body cam. They wear a little pack on the back of their neck, connects to their Starlink satellite. Every single time an officer's on duty, it's live streamed to a channel, literally for logging purposes. So you can see this is happening now from the body cam. Man, bring that. I said it. Gives a minute, said it. I said it. I want it. I think it should happen. So he's asleep again. This cop can't believe it, hey.
Alright.
This cop cannot believe it right now. He's like, fuck, I can't believe this guy's fallen asleep again. So this I gotta call in a field, what do they call him? I gotta call a drunk driver backup or something. Well, you'll hear it. And by the way, remember before I mentioned a VDU, a visual display unit? In Australia, you're not allowed to operate a motor vehicle with any visual display unit aside from your center dash or a GPS. You look at this officer's car. What's he got? Got a laptop right there. That's a VDU in Australia. That's illegal, but the cops can do it.
Y'all even the ones late cars, 16G out. Roger, pull in, and if you need to stay late, y'all have a good one. Okay, give me all.
He's logging a call for a...
306. If you pull this in Church 17, I'll be 16G out. Have a great night. Copy, you too. Go ahead.
God bless body cams, right?
Copy, you as well. 308.
Field sobriety test. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah. And cops are exempt from most laws, right? Of course, yeah.
Negative.
But isn't that interesting that if I was to have a laptop like that on display in my car, I would be breaching the law about having a VDU. But if it wasn't the laptop and it was in the center console here, that's fine. So if my laptop screen was actually part of the center console, that's completely cool. But if it's an external one, it's not cool. Even though they do the same thing. I think the law is a little bit outdated at that point. Hasn't been amended for the portability of these devices. Rochelle, I'm going to ignore you for the rest of this stream. Rochelle, I don't know what to say. I'm going to ignore you. Yeah, I'm just going to ignore you from here on in. I was going to time you out, to be honest. I've never timed anybody out on the YouTube before. I don't even know if it's possible. How do you do that? Put user in timeout. Yeah, you can do it. I've never done it. I don't want to do it, but I tell you what, Rochelle, I got that close to doing it. Until I saw Hendrik in here, I was very close to doing it.
Hey, my man. Hey.
Rochelle, again, I'm not saying... Oh, man. Am I not being clear here? Am I not being clear? Am I not being clear, everybody? Is this not clear what's happening here? We're looking at the video of how this gentleman died. I'm clearly saying I believe the cops have done nothing wrong. I said that multiple times. The cops have done nothing wrong. Does he deserve to die, though? The cop used lethal force to disarm a man, a felony flea. Now, we're going to look at the law. They're within their law. They're within their rights to do what they did. What do you think? That's the point of this stream. Yet here I am constantly getting told, you're saying cops are all bad. Fuck. I mean, this is frustrating. This is frustrating.
Hey, you good, man? You see me, you were passed out before. I want to make sure you're okay. Why'd you fall asleep in the...
Waiting on my 50.
What's up?
Waiting on my 50.
Okay, how much did you drink tonight? Not much? How much is not much?
About a drink, like 12 today.
Alright, hey, you have your license on you real quick?
Yeah.
Alright.
So what the cops doing there is a very purposeful approach. Ask the gentleman questions that you will then repeat later on to verify the answer. So you ask him a simple question like, how much have you had to drink? And he mumbled, I think he said 3 at that point. He mumbled something. The officer is dead sober, so he remembers it. He'll go, well, I asked you earlier what you had to drink and you've already answered and now you're telling me something else. So that's a quick, easy one to say, well, the dude's drunk, right? Blackbeard says this whole rioting thing isn't due to the killings, it's a racial thing.
You say one drink, what kind of drink was it?
It was just one little margarita.
See how he's having his... Oh, you can't see it, it's just off frame.
Absolutely, I don't do drugs.
Okay.
He's got a phone out, he's using his phone, man, that's illegal. I'm going to go now, fellas, have a nice day. Thank you, Stuart. Cheers, my friend.
What's the deal with that?
I sent her.
Do what? Rental, gotcha. Where'd you rent it from?
I also think it's a mistake allowing him to park the car. That would never happen in Australia. Totally, yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Can't drive it. You can't drive it. You can't operate a motor vehicle while drunk. You can't even be behind the wheel while drunk.
Alright, you keep looking for your license, alright?
I'm gonna get out.
No, just stay in the car for a minute, alright, man? Just stay in the car for a minute. Just look for your license. 304 to radio.
Go ahead.
We have any available DUI certified officers working in the zone right now.
DUI certified officer, so he's calling for someone who can do the field sobriety test.
DUI certified unit code 7.
I wonder what kind of cameras they use for their body cams too. It's like a pretty wide angle there.
Radio. It's possible we can raise one to come to this location.
They need hypersmooth, like from GoPro. Hypersmooth, yeah, stabilization.
Copy that, thank you. Alright, man, just stay in the car for a minute, alright? Keep looking for your license. I'll be right back with you, alright? Alright, appreciate it.
At this point, the cop has been completely cool with the dude, right? He's suspected him of DUI, and he's called for backup. Nothing untoward here. This is a completely routine. Except that he locked himself out of his car.
To my location, which is...
If he had fled, that would have been a nightmare scenario, and fleeing is common. I mean,
125 University Ave Southwest is the Wendy's parking lot.
There's more chance of him fleeing in the vehicle, though. You think? Oh, you think fleeing on foot right now? Gotcha, I gotcha. That's why he wants him to stay.
Yeah, I copy.
Did he ask for his keys, though? I thought he would have said, "Give me the car keys and stay in the car." Are they allowed to ask for the car keys? Because if he asks for his car keys, technically, the gentleman could lock himself in his vehicle and refuse to come out, right? But the cop's got the keys, so then he could open it.
304 on TAC 1 requesting DUI.
When we watched this content on the D-Live stream, Hendrik in the chat had a great point, which was debunked, but Hendrik said...
A guy sleeping in the Wendy's parking lot. Smell alcohol. Hard to wake him up. He's fumbling with his license. He told me he had one drink a few hours ago, but he's pretty out of it. Definitely got some good amount of liquor in him right now.
Hendrik had a good point saying that this all is happening on private land. Wendy's car park. Wendy's car park is not a public space; it's private.
I don't know.
So he hasn't broken any laws yet. But then we found out that it's actually illegal to be drunk, even on private property, in a motor vehicle.
All right, just stay on the car with me for a minute, all right? Perfect.
I'm not sure.
All right, just stay in the car with me, all right?
The rioters should read up on history about the slave trade of the Barbary Coast and Islamic countries where the English and greater Europeans were taken as slaves.
But I did went to Rome.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, Perdby, you were saying fleeing in the car. Right,
they
right.
asked me for it, but they had it the day before.
Are they allowed to grab the keys, though?
It was just like, hey, Mr. Brooks.
All right, you're good. Why don't you just hop back in the car for me, all right? All right, appreciate it.
I'm sorry, no problem.
No, you're good, man. Just... Hey. All right. What's your name, sir?
Rayshard Brooks.
How do you spell it for me?
R-A-Y-S-H.
R-A-Y-S-H...
A-R-D.
A-R-D, okay. What's your date of birth?
January 31st, 1993.
January 31st.
Such a bad decision from Rayshard to leg it. Like, why?
Hang tight 1 minute, all right? I'll be right back with you.
All right.
Such a shame that he... Yeah.
You can put in the notes, DUI certified officers been advised when in route.
All of this would have been avoided had he have just been complicit and say, look... and by the way, he did acknowledge to the cop that, you know, he can go home. I just need a ride home and everything would be fine. But it's up to the cop to say, well, dude, we believe you drunk drove to get here. So we're going to nab you for drink driving because you're a threat to society by driving your motor vehicle under the influence of alcohol, which you did to get here. So you got to pay for that, right? You managed to get it here. Luckily, didn't harm anybody, didn't hurt yourself. But what you did was illegal. And if they needed to, they could get security footage, roadside cameras, CCTV to prove him driving, right?
Hey man, just stay in the car. All right, hey, just stay in the car with me, though, all right? I want you to ask me. Okay. All right, man, cool, thank you.
My wallet. I
Yeah.
said, man, you know, I just had my wallet.
Right.
She said, yeah. I called my sister. She said, yeah, you had it.
All right.
Why don't you just put it in your sofa? I said,
All right,
yeah,
I'll just
cool.
walk back to the car with me, all right? I can be asking you here.
Tim, it's always the bad comps who give the good ones a bad name.
I just came from getting something to eat.
Even the churchgoers and sports people. True.
Okay. Hey, why you just get back in the car with me? I keep asking. I don't want to...
In New South Wales, it's defined as any publicly accessible road. Is that right, Perdby?
Yeah, you're good, man. Why don't you stay in the car with me, all right? I don't want to keep asking you. Just sit in the car with me and relax for a minute, all right? Sir.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
Right, just stay in the car with me, all right? I hate to keep asking.
What's your name, sir?
Brosnan.
Mr. Robin.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
You're good, man. Just stay in the car with me. So where are you coming from to get something to eat, you said?
Over in Jonesboro.
Jonesboro? Okay, so what are you doing here?
Something to eat.
So again, you're just going to something to eat again here?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I was trying to see what she wanted, but like I said,
Yeah.
she wasn't answering, and like, babe, what do you want to eat? And
Yeah.
she's like,
You guys-
I don't know.
All right, hey, why don't you hop in the car with me, all right? Just relax in the car. What are you, you here for a visit, or what's,
I'm visiting.
where are you visiting?
My mother's gravesite.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
How long has she passed for?
It's been probably about a year and a half now, but
Oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear
my
that.
birthday's just passed, and my girlfriend's birthday just
Yeah.
passed. But I went to visit her, and
Yeah.
Sad story, isn't it? He's coming from out of town to visit his mother's gravesite.
and, hey, this happened.
Right, I hear you.
I said, babe, what's going on?
Right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk to this officer here for a minute, and then we'll be good to go. Okay?
If the police can drive onto private land, they can do you. Is that right?
All right, stay in the car. Stay right there. Hey, what's going on? So, found him passed out in the parking lot. He's sitting here.
So he was in the drive.
Yeah, he's on. Car's on. Took me like a few minutes to wake him up. Kept knocking. Opened the door. Like shook him. Woke up super groggy. Got pretty good smell of alcoholic beverage coming out of the car. Eyes are watery, glassy. Slurred his words. Wasn't really sure where he was. And he's telling me he had one drink. He said earlier, standard size. Trying to say, oh, I think just one drink, but I can smell alcohol on him still. And he's trying to tell me, where are you coming from? He said, well, I'm coming from Jonesboro. I got food. I said, well, what are you doing here? I got more food. So he's really not too clear, like exactly how I got here, got there. But I mean, certain
So,
words.
so this was a 911 call, right?
Yeah, the drive-through called it in.
So somebody called because he was in the drive-thru.
He just passed out in the car.
Passed out in the drive-thru.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
And
where
then
I
you
found
just
him.
Had him pull over.
Yeah, I had to move out of the way, and then when he pulled up, he actually hit over the curb onto the grass and like backed it up.
Okay.
So I was like, leave him here. He's just gonna drive again. You know?
Sure. Absolutely. All right. Let me go talk.
All right.
So there's nothing untoward there. The first cop's done a great job. Great job. Very diplomatic, very polite, very commendable job from that cop. And this cop, up until a point, same thing, right? Very, very smart, very good policing. Nothing untoward there.
You have his ID?
Yeah. There's a rental car.
Blackbeard, that's a public place. No, it's not, Blackbeard. Wendy's is a privately owned business, and their car parking lot is private space, private land.
He's visiting from Ohio.
Hey, Mr. Brooks. Hey, Mr. Brooks. How you doing? Hey, I'm Officer Rolfe of the Atlanta Police Department. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine.
All right. So tell me, I wasn't here. So can you tell me what?
And again, this is a common police tactic, right? And you should know this if you've ever had interactions. They ask you to repeat this scenario so that then you can be clear. If you've lied, it's difficult to retell the same lie unless you're very good at it.
Happened before we got here?
Nothing happened. I just got here and was getting something to eat.
Where are you coming from?
Well, my friend dropped me off here, and she brought me here to get something to eat.
See, my friend dropped me off here. Yeah. Why would your friend drop you off in the lineup in a vehicle and then disappear?
Your friend dropped you off where?
Here.
At Wendy's.
Yes.
Okay. So
It was the home lodge.
So where's your friend?
Yeah,
now?
per beer. Yeah, it's publicly accessible. Exactly. Yeah.
She's at the hotel.
What hotel?
Oh, right here at the home lodge.
Where's that? What's the address to it?
I'm not sure. I know she's here at the home lodge.
All right. So how did she drop you off here?
She drove here and dropped me off.
In what car?
And a black Volvo.
Okay.
Actually.
So how did this car get here?
I mean, it was here before I came. Like, this is my car. It's a rental car, my sister. But, I mean, like I told her, I came here, I met her here.
Okay.
From the beginning, and she picked me up.
I met her here from the beginning.
So you met her here at the Wendy's?
Yes.
And then you went out with her?
Yes.
And then she came and dropped you off?
Here.
Okay.
And,
Wow, that's a twisted story.
Hey,
That's a
babe,
drunken story.
You know,
You met her here, then she drove you away and drove you back and dropped you off.
No problem. I'll take you there.
All right.
You get your fries and you come back to the hotel.
Okay.
No
So
problem.
the reason why we're here is because somebody called 911 because you were asleep behind the wheel while you're in the drive-thru, right? You recall that?
I don't.
You don't recall that? You don't recall just minutes ago where you were passed out behind the wheel in the drive-thru? You don't recall that at all?
Wow.
Absolutely, I don't.
Just complete blur.
I wasn't driving. Like I said, I just drained my girlfriend. She probably was sleeping, but like I said, babe, I want French fries.
So
and
far as I'm
soda.
aware, you're the only person that's been seen in this vehicle, right?
Yeah, one person.
And you've been in the driver's seat the whole time. So how did the car get into the drive-thru line with you behind the wheel?
She drove here. I said, babe,
See,
I'm
he's-
drinking
In a black car.
He's very careful to sort of try to say that he didn't drive here. He knows he's done
I'll
wrong.
just meet you at the hotel.
Okay.
And
This gentleman knows he's done wrong, right? He's aware of what he's done is wrong, and he's trying to loosely kind of get himself out of it.
said,
All
hey,
right.
get out.
Hold on. So after she drops you off here in her black car, your car was parked where?
Here.
Okay. So how did your car get from here to the drive-thru line?
I never moved.
So how did it get there?
It never did get there. I told you I was in her car.
Well, we've got a 911 call of people reporting a guy passed out behind the wheel in the line. This officer gets here and sees you. Everything's on camera. Sees you in the
Sees me
line.
here in the line.
In the
Well,
line.
I wasn't in the line. Did I pull you over in the line?
Did I pull
You
you
had to wake
over?
up, man.
You didn't pull him
right
over.
here?
No, it was here. I had to wake you up.
Well, look,
Then you went back to sleep and I had to wake you up again.
like I said, I'm.
The cops haven't done any. The cops are completely fine here, right? They're just piecing back the loosely connected dots that this gentleman's giving them. and illustrating that you're a maggot, dude. You're drunk. You shouldn't be operating a vehicle. They should just at this point, this cop should have said, "Sir, I believe you've been operating a motor vehicle under the influence. Blow into here." And then when he blows positive, so we need to arrest you. That's it. That's the end of the night for this guy. It didn't have to end in his death at all.
Sorry if I just got something to eat. I went to visit my mother.
It's unfortunate that it goes as long as it does because
any problems.
Well, we got to make sure that you're safe to operate a vehicle. Now, do you know where you are?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where
I'm
are
in
you?
Forest Park, Old Dixie Highway.
Old Dixie Highway in
The
Forest Park?
Home Lodge is there, right here.
Right.
Subway.
A subway, okay.
So it's a Subway right here. I'm cool.
That's
like
Wendy's.
I said, I could.
So you think that you're in Forest Park right now?
I'm on Old Dixie Highway, Clayton County.
Right. No, you're not.
Well, Forest Park, Georgia.
No.
Jonesboro, Georgia.
No. Try again.
I have to. I mean, like I said, I'm on Old Dixie Highway.
Nope.
I'm not
Jesus.
on Old Dixie Highway.
That's drunk, right?
Quite a ways away from it.
That's drunk as a skunk.
This is a bridge is here.
Nope, no bridge.
No, I'm saying Old Dixie Highway.
You're not near Old Dixie Highway.
He doesn't even know where he is. Like, come on,
You're not even in Clayton County.
blow the blood alcohol test and get him off the street.
Old Dixie Highway.
Old Dixie Highway is not in Atlanta.
It's Forest Park, Georgia, right?
Right. This isn't Forest Park. This is Atlanta.
Could be. Yeah, I agree. The second cop, the
How
cop
much you
here,
had to drink today?
I drunk
becomes
early.
pleased with himself,
Okay. How much
outsmarting
you
a
had?
man at his
That's
worst.
when
Like,
I
yeah,
had-
yeah, I agree with that. It's a bit
All right,
cocky.
Being honest with me, how much did you have to drink?
I had one drink.
Be honest with me.
I
Over
had-
the course of the entire evening, from the time you started drinking until your very last drink, how many drinks did you consume?
I had one drink.
The trouble I have with this is that this officer knows he's drunk. So why spend all this time entertaining this field sobriety crap? Just get him off the streets, right? Get this drunk man off the streets. That should have been his focus instead of. It's almost like he's trying to humiliate him. I gotta say though, had this not have ended up in this gentleman's death, this would have to be one of the funniest arrest videos, right? The guy doesn't even know where he is. He thinks he's at fucking Subway on Old Dixie Highway.
What kind of drink was it?
A margarita.
Okay, how big was the margarita?
It was just a small cup.
Small cup.
Yes, sir.
Have you taken any medication today?
No, sir.
Any drugs of any kind?
No,
Marijuana?
sir.
Smart
cocaine,
move.
Nothing like that?
Asking
No,
him
sir.
if he's taken
Do you
any
have
drugs.
Medical conditions, physical defects. Hold on, let me finish. Do you have any medical conditions, physical defects, or injuries?
But don't forget, he's being a dick. But he has to go through certain procedure. I just think that it took way too long. And in one sense, it's kind of working in Rayshard's favor because the longer this takes, the more chance that less alcohol will be in his system. If you think about it, right? But at the amount of alcohol that he had to get him to blow 0.18 or whatever it was, it's going to take a lot longer than 40 minutes to get rid of that, right?
Would affect your ability to walk, balance,
No, sir. I'm
or
cool.
operate a vehicle safely.
I'm okay.
Nothing whatsoever.
No, sir.
No issues I need to know
No,
about.
sir.
All right. Can you just take your hat off for me? Just leave it in your car for me. You just leave it in your car. Can you step out with me, please?
Yes, sir.
Come on back here. Do you have any weapons on you or anything like that?
I don't have anything on me.
Is it okay if I pat you down? Just make sure.
I have just money, gas, and that was it.
Is it okay if I pat you down to make sure you don't have any weapons?
Absolutely.
Can you just
You're
turn around,
fine.
face away from me real quick? What is this? Is it just a bunch of money in your pocket?
That's just my wallet.
What's all this?
It's your money.
How much money do you have in your pocket?
I mean, maybe a couple $100.
Okay. Like a bunch of ones and stuff here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just walk over here with me, please.
No crime to have that in your pocket, though, is it?
This is Wendy's.
Yes, this is Wendy's.
Yes, I do remember.
You can see the sign, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
I just came to get something to eat.
You mind just putting your phone on the trunk of your car? I don't want you to have anything in your hand.
All right.
All right, so no medical conditions, no injuries, no physical
sir.
defects.
No,
Are you comfortable
sir.
walking in these shoes?
Absolutely. Well, they're brand new. I just bought them.
Can you walk in them without falling, stumbling, anything like that? Staggering? You walk in them okay?
I just bought them.
See, what he's trying to do here is clearly he's trying to get Rayshard Brooks to acknowledge that he can walk comfortably in those shoes on a regular day. Because later on, if the gentleman didn't die, there may be a case where he said, well, I told you I bought new shoes, and you made me do a field sobriety test in new shoes. I told you they're not great. I haven't even worn them in yet. So what the cop is trying to do is get him to verbally say, these are my regular shoes. I can walk in them normally, and therefore I can take this test wearing these shoes. And at this point, the cop is being more than accommodating, but I don't understand why he has to do all that. That's probably the bigger question. Why go through all this crap? Why not just get him to blow into the thing? It seems like self-serving humiliation from the cop to have a good time on a Saturday night. That's what this seems like.
Can you walk in it okay? You don't have to show me. I'm just asking, are you comfortable walking in the shoes?
But then again, on the other side of that coin, drunk people are fun, right? This guy seems like a fun drunk. I'm not going to lie. He seems like a fun drunk. He's laughing. He asked the cop, is that when I pulled you over? He got the words all backwards. It seems like a fun dude to be around when he's drunk.
They are comfortable, but I'd just like to do some field sobriety tests. And if you prefer, you can keep them on. If you're more comfortable with it, you can take them off.
I hadn't been, like I said, I hadn't been operating this vehicle.
Yeah, you have.
Right. Hey, Caleb. How you going, man?
She came here. I got in the car.
James, g'day, James. How do you do, James Long?
I have no problem.
No. What's the no to, James?
Okay.
And go back to my hotel.
All right. Well, we have a police officer that actually personally witnessed you operating the vehicle, so we know you're operating the vehicle.
Folks,
right.
what I want to do here, I want to just pause this because we are kind of drawing somewhat near to the end of the stream. We're getting to the bottom half of the stream, or the very bottom part of the stream. But I want to go and have a quick look. We'll get back into this. We can watch a little more of it as the stream runs out. But I want to just talk a little about the fleeing from a felon law, because we all know how this plays out. This goes on for another 30-odd minutes of this cop sort of humiliating this gentleman, making him do all these funky dances and funky walks. And it's, like I said, it's kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny to see. Unfortunately, it winds up in the guy dying, which is not cool, not funny. But the question of this stream, and my question to you, did the cops do anything wrong? So we all know how it plays out. He was placed under arrest, not told he's being placed under arrest, just some flip of the switch, and suddenly he realizes he's getting arrested with his hands behind his back. He makes a stupid decision. He flees. He grabs the taser. He gets away from two cops. Somehow a drunken dude, maggot drunk guy, managed to evade two cops and start running. He makes the stupid decision to turn around and point the taser at the cop, fire off a few rounds from that taser. The cop, snap decision, shoots him dead. At that point, what went wrong? And are the cops out of their right to do what they've done? And therefore, what do you think of the USA police force? That's the question here. Now, I've been given some shit in my stream for even asking this question from Rochelle. I don't want to address that again. I want to ask you, what do you think of the cop situation? Are you in agreement of the police being decommissioned? Let's talk about Whoa, g'day, go to woe. Being guilty of being born black. Caleb, I feel like it all could have been sorted if the cop just allowed him to walk home. But Caleb, don't forget that he's operated a motor vehicle while drunk. So the cop is trying to assert that you drove this vehicle to Wendy's to get food while maggoted, and therefore you're a threat to public safety, your safety and the public. Now I want to jump across to this Wikipedia entry here, which is the fleeing felon rule. At common law, is that big enough for you guys to see? Make it. Fleeing felon rule permits the use of force, including deadly force, against an individual who is suspected of a felony and is in clear flight. So this American common law totally permits, and here it is, the US law. Under US law, the fleeing felon rule was limited in 85 to non-lethal force. In most cases, by this case here, the justices held that the deadly force may not be used unless necessary to prevent the escape and the officer has probable cause to believe that the suspect poses a significant threat or serious bodily harm to the officer. So this is what this gentleman posed. He grabbed a taser. Now, there's an argument whether the taser is a deadly weapon or not. Either way, that people say it's not, people say it is. I'm not saying I know what it is. I'm not saying a taser is a deadly weapon. The cop believed it is, and therefore, here we go. A police officer may not seize an unarmed, non-dangerous suspect by shooting him dead. However, where the officer has probable cause to believe that the suspect poses a threat of serious physical harm either to the officer or to others, it is not constitutionally unreasonable to prevent escape by using deadly force. So that's the law, right? That's what we know of the law. So with that being clear, how does that change your opinion of the US police? He was legally in his right to use deadly force to bring this man down. Should he have? That's the question. Should he have? Does a taser pointed at you put you in death's way? The cop obviously felt like it did. He chose to discharge three rounds into this guy to kill him. I've said all along, why do they shoot to kill in the States? Why not just shoot in the foot or in his arm? And they say, well, they shoot at the biggest body mass, the target, the biggest body mass to which is the chest area. My mic, audio's gone? Audio gone. Audio's gone? Interesting. Okay, back, okay. James Long, the cop said he didn't think it was a taser, he thought it was a handgun. The cop thought, oh really, that's come out in the last week? The cop thought that the gentleman had grabbed the gun off the officer. Wow, I did not know that. Did not know that. I did not know that. That's a new fact. Depends on the classification of a taser as a deadly weapon. Yeah, that's true. The taser could have been used to momentarily disable the cop, thus enabling the motorist to gain possession of the cop's pistol and shoot said cop. I mean, yeah, but then there'd be a different scenario at play, right? The one that's at play right now is that he was fleeing using a deadly weapon against a cop, and that's why the cop shot him. He shot him dead. He shouldn't have. I think he should have shot him to disable. Ventnor mass. There's a mass shooting. What? Is this news just popping off right now? Is there a mass shooting? How's things in your neck of the woods? Ventnor mass today. What's Ventnor mass? James Long, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but we are very close to the end of this stream, so I don't think we're going to be able to examine that. But yeah, thank you for your conversation here, folks. Thanks for being open to this discussion. Aside from the shit that Rochelle gave me, I think this was a great discussion. We never were going to get to an answer, right? We never were going to come to a conclusive answer here. But we're allowed to have the discussion. We're allowed to engage the conversation. We want to have that discussion. We want to be able to talk about these things openly. We want to be able to do this into a public forum. But folks, I can hear my outro music rolling right now. I will see you all on the stream next week. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you, Happy Canadian.
We're out of time.